This is the type of comment that I get again and again under my videos. And I just thought it's such an odd comment to make. So why not react to it a little bit, show how irrational it sounds. When we are talking about tradition, there's a very important element that's part of the definition, and that is continuity. Tradition is a cultural continuity that is embraced generation by generation. Now, when it comes to the spread of Christianity, we know for a fact that it was mostly forced on pagans. So it's not really a pagan tradition to embrace Christianity. It was rather a foreign element that was pushed down on the people's throat. And we know many of the tactics that were used. This is well documented. Even in many of the Christian sources, it took military power, so killing people, political scheming, fear-mongering, especially through the destruction of holy places and buildings, legal prohibition and punishment, and even more crazier things like economic punishment or slavery. For me, what made these comments even more ironic is the fact that in the modern Western world, Christianity is actually declining. It is well observed that there is a continuous decline in the amount of worshippers, and this is happening despite the fact that nobody is forced to change their religion in the Western world. And in many of these countries, Christian organizations are even having privileges, which again shows very well that in a peaceful way, Christianity could have never spread to the extent that it spread. It could only spread through violence. Just to say two examples, in the 2001 census, 75% of the citizens of the United Kingdom were Christian. Now, 20 years later, in 2022, only 46.5% decided to take Christianity. Just to give you another example, Hungary, which is supposed to be a very Christian country, according to its government, in 2001 it had 74% of people taking Christianity, but in the census in 2022 it was only 43.4%, which again is basically the same number, even though you can't blame it on immigration or any other factor. Now, pagan religions, on the other hand, are some of the fastest growing religions in the Western world, and this is again relatively well documented. Of course, overall we are talking about small numbers, yet however it seems that there's a steady growth every year, sometimes even doubling the numbers. I mean, even from my personal experience, I have seen in my short life so many groups just popping out of nowhere and becoming strong and quite numerous communities. So in the end, my humble advice to the commenters who feel the need to put this slogan under my videos all the time, maybe instead you should focus on your religion and how its tradition is unfolding now, because it doesn't look very well for you. And I might even be justified to say that at the moment, the greatest Christian tradition in the West is becoming pagan.